Hello everyone, my name is Relax and Panic and this is another reaction to Sakurasu no Pet Nakanojo. It's episode 9 and you know what to do. As always, if you want to see my reaction, just go down into my descriptions, follow the links, replace the parentheses, dot parts with real dots and enjoy. Once you've done, feel free to come back here and hear my thoughts about this episode. So, see you soon. For those that came back, welcome back. Now, okay. There happened quite a lot. I mean, seriously, a good episode. A lot of interesting things happening. First things first, the intro. Why did I have to skip it? I can see it partially. I mean, the intro showed that Sheena is kind of focused on what she's doing when she's painting. She's drawn into it. So you could say it might have influenced me in viewing how she stands towards painting, right? However, the same way she acts when she's drawing a manga. When she does something, she's completely focused on it. And I guess that's why she got the good in painting. She did it since what? Age 6, they said? So, it's about 10 plus years. So just consider how good she would be as a manga artist if she spent like 10 years learning it and doing it. So I think the whole argument about she should paint instead of drawing a manga, I can see, right? The pictures were awesome and living and vivid, and it drew in everyone that was watching it. But who says she cannot do the same or even better in some other category? Which is why I chose this picture. Because in the end, it is her choice, no one else's. And that is already the main story of this episode. I mean, they had that already in the past a little bit. They pointed it out, the fact that she is world-renowned and important for when it comes to the arts. And now she does something that she's not experienced in, but she wants to do, draw manga. I don't know why. I mean, that was never really questioned. Why does she want to do it? What is it? What spurred her on to do it? There has to have been a moment where she was, I don't know, having a look at a manga and said, that's it, I want to do this. And in the end, that it is what it is all about. Talking about free will. That's the thing. If it is her free will, her will that she wants to do mangas, even if she's bad at it, which she isn't as we know, but let's say she would be crap. It doesn't matter. If she loves it, that's what she's gonna do. The problem here is, and they pointed out again, that she is incredibly good at something else. And it feels to many people like a loss if she's not doing that anymore. Which I can understand. And I can see, but you cannot force someone to do something. The main problem is the way that Sheena is acting, the kind of person that she is, so very silent, so drawn back and into herself, not really standing up for herself very much, although she did in this episode. It makes it kind of easy to make her do what you want, right? I think that is something that happened in the past. People realized she's good at it, and so they just made her draw more. And she was in this atelier of the grandfather of Rita, as she said. So she grew up with people who saw her paintings and were like, that it is. You are the future of painting, right? The new Michelangelo, the new Donatello, the new whatever, right? And you really have to ask yourself if any one of them ever asked, is that what you want to do? So, I mean, if you give a kid who is young, just something to do. You give him cars, so he will play with cars. If you give him pen and paper, he will start drawing something, and so on. If you give this kid only pen and paper, in this case, pencils and colors and so on, what else should it do with it, right? It will paint and paint, and it will get better. That's the way it is. I think it is a question if she ever had any options to do something else. And she shows herself to do a manga. And now there's someone coming along and saying, you have to come back. the world is waiting for you. You have kind of no choice. It's not yours to decide what you're doing because you are gifted. And there we are at this big problem. If you are gifted for something, does that really mean you have to do that? Do you really have like no choice? I mean, if you are the number one musician, the best violinist in the world, as example, I can see that it feels like there's a burden on you, like you should do that because you are so good, and you give many people hope, inspiration, a good time. But if you draw not out good things for yourself, I don't know. I mean, it is the choice of Sheena herself. I still think so. But it's a hard problem, right? It is this problem of society in general versus one person. Who's worth more? So this, you could make it even harder than just arts, which is already a big thing. Let's say she would be like the number one medical person. She is the one that everyone feels like she will discover the cure for a cancer, as example, right? And everyone believes it. And in the last year before she went away, she made researches and everyone was like, she's on the track. She will find the answer. And then she says, I want to draw mangas instead. It is kind of the same. It's just harsher described. Surely people would come after and say, you have to go back into med school. You have to find this cure. It's not about you. Humanity is counting on you. Everyone, all those people are counting on you. Pressure, pressure, pressure. And who it is to decide, that's the main problem. I see that problem. From the side of good for everyone, I would say, hey, find that cure, then draw manga. But who knows how long that takes? And really, who can decide that? Who can say you have to do this thing? That picture, right? So, I think this is already the main thing I wanted to talk about. And I think you can understand that. However, we have Rita, who is, in my opinion, clearly a manipulating girl. Let's say nicely. I mean, she clearly knew what she's doing. So she came along, she uses her charms, her good looks to get what she wants. She knows that she's looking good. And she played Kanda. Just this sentence, if there's a maiden in distress, surely there will be a hero to come along. She knew exactly he's that kind of guy. And she's using that. She's manipulating him. She's sleeping in his room just to make Sheena feel bad so that she moves over to Britain again. All this stuff. Not the nicest kind of person. But we had this moment, which was a fallback in the storyline as well, as this story here is as well. This moment of that she did draw in the paint in the past and she gave it up. And then she mentioned just some sentences later, if you get to stay with Sheena too long, you get destroyed by her, like she did, like Rita did. So it feels a little bit like this burned by greatness. She did paint. It was her grandfather's atelier that they both painted in, and she possibly had to see how she is compared to Sheena, and she gave up, which I can understand, right? I mean, there is this moment when you feel like I may be good at something, I may be okay at something, but there are others who are incredible. How can I ever estimate my value compared to them? How can I ever step up to their level? And you can't. Sorry. It's not about training. It's not about passion for a thing in this moment. You cannot reach their levels. If they are gifted, they are at a different level. So the passion you have for the thing is the reward itself. That's it, what it is about. You cannot reach the level of painting of Sheena, as example. But if you enjoy doing it, that is already the reward. But possibly she was too young to understand that. And seriously, I think we all are kind of too young always. I had stuff like that happen to me in the past as well. And it takes a lot more of knowledge and experience to really understand what's going on there. So much about Rita. Now the bombshell. Why the heck did never, ever anyone tell me that this guy was a girl. Seriously. I did not see that coming. Not at all. I was like, okay, that I don't know what, but I thought of a kind of a, a little bit chubby boy, not fat, just a bit chubby, but cool, nice dude, Why did I have this picture in my mind? Was there a picture like that somewhere shown? I'm not sure. So I was really surprised about Akasaku, sorry. Due to additionally not knowing about names in general in Japanese, I really thought it would be a boy. Especially when you have a female, this maiden. It all felt like that. What you expect is not what you get here. So, but I do like her. I really like her. I mean, she's a bit mean there, right? But I really like that, the idea of it. And I think they made that on purpose, right? There was a trap and I fell into it completely. Enjoyed it nonetheless. And this moment in class with the teacher where she's like, I'm here because I have to be. I have to have specific amount of hours I have to attend. And this short discussion there, why don't you teach something that's interesting for me? Maybe then I would listen. That smack. Poor teacher. I'm very sorry for her. I mean, it's a problem when you're trying to teach stuff to people who are on a different level. I mean, those in the Sakura-su, most of them are kind of gifted in specific ways. So, what can you really teach them? And saying you will need that in life, what I teach you here in class. Sorry, but this girl is already earning more money than you do by far. And has already, she's already on her path in life. She knows what she's doing and she loves it. And she's kind of the best at it. So what else you want to teach such a girl? The one thing you want to teach, however, and that is not really, something a teacher does, is social interaction, is how to behave, how to live with others, how to be part of a group and of society. So not be secluded in your room. And I don't think that's something a teacher can really teach you. That's something that family has to teach you, friends, and society in general. I think she's hard when it comes to that to be taught. So, cool episode. And we are getting a game about Naya Boron, I think was the name of the cat. Right? I better write that one down. Naya Boron. And it is a cat. Sure, it is a cat. Everything's a cat in this series. So it is a game, and the design idea, and I really like it, is from Kanda, that he thought about a game not for one person, but a game that a group of people play by doing the same thing. All of them have to clap in their hands simultaneously. All of them have to do, I don't know, like a dance move at the same time so that it works. I guess, I mean, there should be options to do stuff like that, right? And I like the idea because it is a completely different concept. And I think this is the game that he will create which will make it. Because that is something different and something good. And I really like the idea of it and the fact that he's a director, the one that has to get everyone on board in the Sakura-su. It's really good. And he has the best people available for that. So, about Stupid Sorata. It was a back and forth in this episode. So, it felt he'd never really joined Rita's side. That's clear. It was a misinterpretation there. He made a really nice gesture with the text. I really liked that. And you could see a smile, right? You could see Shiina standing up for herself. She pushed Rita out. There was a clear statement. It was a leave my life kind of, right? And the question that I do have is if this last sentence of the episode, Shiina should go back to the art world, really means to painting. Or if it is, hopefully, maybe, something like, I do see what you mean. She should have art like that. She should create art, but in a manga. Or in, because they ended it just after the sentence, and it feels very much like that's not over yet. At least I hope. Pictures that go down in history. Yeah, happens. That's it this time. Great episode. Really good. I like it. And I look forward to the next one. I hope you do as well. And I will see you over there. Until then, my name is Relax and Panic. Goodbye and out.